4 score and 7 years ago, or, well, actually, it's more like 10 years ago. I don't really remember, but it was at least 10 years ago. I was watching TV and a Cheerios commercial came on, and it was a commercial like any other, here's a product, here's a catchy jingle. Remember it in your head when you're walking around the store trying to figure out which shitty cereal you want to buy. But there was something sinister lurking beneath the surface. You want to know what it was? There was a non-nuclear interracial family in the commercial. Yeah, that happened, and I could not believe I was hearing about it in the news. I could not believe that this was something people could not handle. Like, okay, your media... Okay, speaking specifically to Americans, because I was living in America at the time, but your media has basically been tailor-made for white people forever. Especially like video games. Oh my God, video games. The main demographic has been adolescent white males forever, right? But you, the supposed, I don't get offended by anything, fuck your feelings, people need to toughen up. You can't handle a commercial with an interracial family in it. As a gamer, you can't handle a game that has a storyline that involves real world issues that you choose to ignore. You can't handle a strong female protagonist and you think it's just something that's being shoehorned and shoved in there because of the woke agenda. Some of the people who complain the most about people being offended and too soft are so fucking soft and fragile themselves. I gotta tell you, I thought back then when I saw that commercial and I saw the backlash that, well, it can't get much worse than this, can it? These people are just going to have to accept the fact that corporations, whether you like it or not, are featuring more interracial couples, featuring more people of color, featuring more people from marginalized groups that have historically in the media been caricaturized and stereotyped and made fun of forever, are finally getting a chance to be shown positively, just like everybody else. And that's just still so hard for people to handle. I thought in all these years, like people would just go, okay, this is a world we live in now. It's not a part of some great grand agenda to brainwash me and my children. Oh, they always talk about their children too. Oh, Ron DeSantis, you stupid fucking prick. You stupid prick, Ron DeSantis. Oh my God, how are we allowing this man? Have we not learned from Donald Trump? Ron DeSantis is... Oh, maybe I'll have more on that later. But anyway, yeah, he's just one of many people who are on this anti-woke crusade to try to scrub clean our media of any mentions of, Black history or anything that has to do with making white people look guilty for things in the past. Because that was the past, and this is now where things are more equitable and... Yeah! Oh my God, it's just enough to make me want to throw every television I have. If not for video games, I wouldn't even have a television. You are allowing yourselves to be led down a very, very horrible path. When you take on an anti-woke sort of mentality and you start complaining about more diversity being shown in your media, your movie. These are fucking movies. These are books. These are magazines. This is television. It's radio. On a grand wide scale, 100 years from now even, do you think, with all of the looming threats this planet faces, that the wokeness on television or the wokeness in video games is even going to be a thought on anybody's fucking mind. No, it's probably going to be, how do we keep ourselves alive in the face of rising oceans and tornadoes 10 miles wide and hurricanes the size of Mars, you know? Like, prioritize, people. Prioritize your anger. Prioritize these things that you hate, because I'm telling you, these things that you're being told to hate, not the right things. Not the right things. These people who are being portrayed in the media in a more positive light, they're not hurting you. They're not hurting your family. They're not doing anything to you. Do you want to know who's doing something to you? The people a little bit higher up. You know, the people who probably funded that interracial commercial, or the people who have the producers behind the movies that you think are getting just a little bit too woke with their storylines and their plot lines. Again, may I remind you, white guy, you have been living in a world that's been catering to you forever. You have been living in a world whose media has been catering to you forever. And anytime, like, shit, anytime in the 90s, for example, that some sitcom would try to incorporate a little bit more inclusivity, especially if it was like for homosexuals, you'd have some family watchdog group, family this, focus on the family, the moral majority. You'd have groups coming together in droves to try to stop it and say that this is a threat to the family. This is a threat to the family. There are much bigger threats to your motherfucking family, existential threats, than some people being included who were once caricaturized and demeaned and demoralized and stereotyped on television. You think that's a huge threat to your family, and not the crook that you voted for, who is getting you all riled up about this so you forget about the ways that he is trying to fuck you over? Working class white guy? It's not even, I wanted to say it's maddening, but it's not really all that maddening anymore, because these people are so easy to ignore. But again, you are being led down a path that is very, very bad, and your anger is, once again, misdirected, misguided anger. You're hating the wrong fucking people, and humans do this all the time, everywhere. And that's why nothing changes. That's why things stay the same. Because once things start going a little bit too far in the right direction, somebody's got to come in and pull us back just a few more steps so that they can keep getting richer. Because, you know, $1 billion isn't enough. Why have $1 billion when you could have 3 billion or 4 billion or 10 billion? Why have $1 million when you could have 10 million or 100 million? You know, it's just this cycle that keeps repeating itself. All of this stuff you're being told about diversity and inclusivity coming after your culture, coming after your family and your way of life, much like with nationalism and how all of these immigrants are coming for your culture and your way of life. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. And you've had ample time to get yourself out of this mentality, but no. Ron DeSantis has come along, and Donald Trump's come along, and these family organizations are still out there saying that all of these depictions of homosexual love are just tearing us apart, Lisa.